treat. Each week,
I'm going to take a piece.
we look at a menu of matchups in the upper crust of the league. Some teams are cooking, some just cook. Then, after we let it all marinate, Dusty orders a pie, and it distracts Brew and I, while Nick determines who deserves the largest slice during the most delicious segment in all sports. It's Total Pie.
Show him what it is this time. Hold on, show him the actual pie.
Once he gets on air by himself,
show him the pie.
Here's the thing.
Brew has been begging for Mississippi
I've been
mud.
Mississippi mud.
I'll show it.
It's Mississippi mud.
He's been begging for this pie for years.
Honestly, looks better in person.
Well, yeah, it's delicious.
It's the best pie we've had.
You think so?
Yeah.
They should
Okay.
serve it at root. Go do your thing.
Okay, are we allowed to go?
You are.
All right,
Basically
here are
like
the
a
rules.
pie
All
full
right,
of chocolate.
you
Me and
put
Brew
the
will be
camera on me, these dopes. I told them.
It's like a brownie.
So
wow.
who?
Oh, my.
It's really good. Oh my.
You guys,
French
you know,
pastry.
Go ahead. You talk.
you guys know your mics are on.
Just put Nick on and let us do our
Okay, well
thing.
then eat
Put him on the camera.
silently. Eat quietly.
Oh my.
All right, here's the teams with less than 1%. The actual bad teams are not on there. Bad news for the Knicks. They've been downgraded.
Yikes.
They're less than 1%ers. Wilds, again, Wilds gets upset because the Rockets are there, and
They won
they're
8 in a row.
literally in second place, and they've won eight in a row. But Wilds actually agrees that the Rockets can't win the championship this year. Shout out to the Pistons for even making this graphic. Now to the teams with actual slices and an arrow determining if they've gone up or down in their slice this week. The Bucks, they're down to 1%, Brew. The 1% is out of respect to Giannis, but I don't think it can. I don't see that slice getting much bigger. I had him as, I think, the first title pie. I had him with the 5th or the 6th biggest slice. No more. Real concerns there. 3% where they were last week. Memphis. Memphis, I like their defense. I like their coach. When healthy, I think they have a really legitimate, in today's NBA, big three. Ja, Triple J, and Bane. And so I give them 33%, or 3%, 1 in 33 chance. Up to 3%, Minnesota. I understand that they've lost 2 in a row, and all of a sudden now they're the 8th seed, but that could shuffle. But I also think Anthony Edwards been so good, maybe figuring out how to play with Julius Randle a little bit more. We saw them beat the defending champs on the road in a Game 7 last year. But major trade since then. Pardon me, but they're up to 3%. Down to just 4%. Michael Malone's going to get super pissed. The Denver Nuggets. I love Jokic. Like Murray and Gordon. Am okay with MPJ and Christian Brown and don't like anything else. Yeah. And so it will take a truly historic effort by Jokic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For them to navigate the Western Conference. He is such a great player that I'm giving him a legitimate chance to do that, but I think 1 in 25 sounds about right. This team was about to have a much bigger slice in it last week. 6% for the Warriors. The reason it does not is purely because Steph's injury last night and the fact that he's not going to play in their next game. I'm not sure how many games he's going to miss. Does that make it? I think it is incumbent for the Warriors to avoid the play-in. Not because they get clipped in the play-in, but because then you get 5 true days off between the end of the regular season and the start of the playoffs. I think for a team with players as old as Draymond, Jimmy, and Steph, that would be super useful. So they were going to move up because of the winning streak. The Steph injury would make them move down, so they stay at 6%. Now to the big 4 teams, and one team whose record would demand a bigger slice, but couldn't do it. 9% for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Tough one.
So
That's straight disrespect.
I lost 2 games.
So they've lost 3 in a row for the first time all year. They now are, if they were to make the finals, it would appear for the first time all year they wouldn't have home court if they're playing the Thunder, that is. They, of course, would have it against anyone else. And I just feel like the 3 teams ahead of them are overwhelmingly likely that one of these 3 teams is going to win the championship at this point. Respect to Cleveland. It's been an unbelievable year. But I would be shocked if one of these next 3 teams doesn't win the title. And at 23%, same percent as they had last week, but other teams that moved up is Oklahoma City.
Tough one.
So Oklahoma City's won 9 of 10. They can win without their best players. They can win playing a bench game. It was kind of cool when they played the Sixers and both teams wanted to lose because the Oklahoma City potentially has the Sixers pick if the Sixers get a different pick. So the Sixers tried to lose by being the Sixers. The Oklahoma City tried to lose by just playing their worst players. Oklahoma City beat them by 25. Here is the one caveat about Oklahoma City, Brew, that we haven't discussed. We've talked about the youth, and we've talked about what type of whistle is Shea actually going to get in the postseason. The one thing that we haven't talked about is how much of their record and gaudy net rating is a factor that will be almost meaningless come the playoffs, which is games where both teams' best players aren't playing, but their deep bench is better. The fact that when you get to your 9th, 10th, 11th guys, theirs are better than everyone in the league because the playoff rotation is going to be just your top 8 guys. And so, huge respect for OKC. They can win the title. I just think they have a slightly less chance to win the title than the Los Angeles Lakers because we now know they survived the LeBron injury. LeBron should be back this weekend against Chicago. Austin Reeves playing the best ball of his life. Luka, full-blown Laker, without a doubt. Rui is coming back as well. They are the healthiest they've been all year. They are, I think, the most confident they've been all year. I don't think it was a terrible thing that LeBron missed this stretch of 6 games in 8 days. But the reason they don't have the biggest slice, even though they are my pick to win the title, is unlike the Celtics, their path is so hard to the finals. The Celtics, it looks like, is going to have one tough round of the playoffs probably, and that's the conference finals to get to the finals, I should say. So the Boston Celtics, the defending champs, have the biggest slice of the pie. They get a bigger slice, Brew.
Easier.
Yeah, just because I think that I think Lakers and Thunder, either one could get clipped before the conference finals. I see no scenario Boston is not in the conference finals, and so that gives them the biggest slice of the pie.
Not bad. I like it a lot at the top. Obviously, I've got the Lakers winning the West. Lakers OKC. That if they meet, I can't wait to see that series. It's the older vets against, the young team. But where I'm going, Nick, no pie, no Mississippi mud for Memphis. How about that? Memphis needs to join the teams with less than 1%.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, less than 1%. Put them in that group.
Wow.
All right, look, there are a lot of different reasons. First of all, they're only 12.
Anymore,
I love Ja. Ja's hurt this year. This is a comeback year for Ja. This is like getting back, like he's hurt now. He's missed a lot of the season this year. He's hurt now, going to miss his 3rd straight game tonight. I think they play the Clippers. And with the hamstring, his shoulder's a little bit sore as well. So they are 12-20 against teams 500 or better. That's the worst of the top 8 teams in the West. All right? They're only 8-11 over the last, month and a half. All right? So they're not playing good basketball. I get it that Ja's missed some of those games. But again, Ja is hurt right now. Yeah, so I think next year will be the year when Ja is fully healthy and fully back, and they will be a legitimate threat. This year, not so much, because those past few years where they were like a real contender, they always had a top 5 defense. This year is still good, but it's like 11th. So it's not nearly as elite as it was. And I got to be honest, I know he's not a favorite of Knicks.
They miss Dillon Brooks.
Dillon Brooks, man, look, you can use guys like that with that edge and just keep the opponent kind of, off their guard.
How's Dillon Brooks' current team doing? 1-8.
Well, that's what my point. Look at how he's helped Houston. So I just think the Grizz, I'm not saying they can't win a round or something, but I think, Nick, you would be shocked if they won a championship.
Well, yeah.
I'm ready to put them. I'm ready to put them with the no chance.
I would be shocked if any team other than the Celtics, Lakers, or Thunder win. I think it is impossible for any team other than the teams on this graphic to win. I think about a 1 in 35 chance for Memphis and Minnesota seems fair. So I'm not quite down. It's not a huge difference, to be totally honest, where you are and where I am. I'm just putting them on more than a puncher's chance. KW, don't eat. It's about to be your turn.
It's hard to resist, Nick.
Guys.
It really is. You want to send a piece over to him?
KW, go.
He don't
My turn. I thought you wanted to do a little thing.
No, it's your turn.
Why don't you do just a quick?
Guys, I know it's Friday. I know no one's watching because the tournament's on, but you still should at least pretend to work.
All right, my fault. Didn't know I was on camera.
It's delicious.
Well, you're in behind the curtain a little bit. Pie was a little bit late coming out of the creative oven today, so I had to start preparing what I was going to say. And I said, Josh, what should we cook up here? I'm like, I know he's going to disrespect the Celtics, so I'll start baking in some Celtic stats. So when the Celtics came in 4th place or something, I could be like, how dare you? Then the pie came out of the oven. What do you know? They got the biggest slice. I'm like, oh. It's like I need to upgrade my take to even more. Celtics actually deserve half the pie. Why are you disrespecting them?
50%. Wow.
Yeah, they're the champions. They're the reigning champs.
That can't be the reason.
That they're the reigning champs?
Hadn't been done
Being
in, what,
the raising
7 years?
champs can't
What
be
is
the
the
reason.
raising champs?
6-7 years
Did I
we've
say
had
raising?
a different
Being
champ.
the reigning champs can't be the reason that they have half the pie. I need more reasons.
Good news. I have more reasons.
Good.
Sean Grandy had this interesting tweet. So the Celtics starting 5 has played together in just 20 of their first 69 games. That ranks 49th among 5-man lineups in the NBA. And then in that game, they started Sam Hauser, Al Horford, KP, Drew, and Derek White. And it's a game that Baylor Shinerman had 20 points, just going off. So this is why they're not quite as dynamic or dominant as they were last year. They're just not playing that often.
Well, they didn't play all that often last year.
No, but and they won the championship. So you're like, oh, does that mean injuries are concerned? Not really. I think the Celtics' injuries are like how you can't get 5 of your buddies together. Somebody's always got a thing. It's like, should we worry about it? Like, no, but he's got it. Like, Jaylen Brown's not playing tonight against the Jazz.
And a lot of that was Porzingis. A lot of it was one guy was out for.
Porzingis.
Yeah, and that was like, hey, what do you got? Like,
He's the only one
literally
that's
don't
really
know. I just can't be there. And then he's there, and he's great. But here's why I think, I love continuity. That's why they call me Mr. Continuity. Last year's top scorers, this year's top scorers, same guys, same order, and Peyton Pritchard, who I do think is probably going to win you a few playoff games. And if anybody goes to
Peyton Pritchard,
he makes big shots and he makes far shots. He makes shots that Steph Curry goes, that's too far.
Peyton Pritchard averaging more this year than Drew is surprising.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? That
Drew's just getting older, you know.
But go ahead.
Yeah. So that's the.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah,
Usually
I like
have 3
continuity.
things.
I had another one, but I didn't like it as much.
Okay.
30 points. There was 30 points in a
This is a
game.
discussion. Go ahead.
So
I got some stuff.
50% is
Probably too much. I'll say 40.
Okay. Well, no.
No, you said 50.
You said
You
50.
Well, I'm trying to be nice.
So that is actually the most disrespectful thing that's been said about the Cavs all season on this show. Because to me, 50% is when you are a lock to win your conference. You know what I mean? Then a lock to win your conference, going to play an awesome team in the finals, be a coin flip in the finals. And so listen, unlike, Mr. Northeast bias over here, Kevin Wildes, have too much respect for the Midwestern Cleveland Cavaliers to give the Celtics 50%. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.